This podcast is supported by Music Theater of Wenatchee, celebrating 64 years of bringing stories to life. From show-stopping musicals to powerful plays, the Music Theater of Wenatchee stage is where stories come alive. Now they are writing the next chapter, and you can help make it happen. To support the next act of community theater in Wenatchee, visit annex.mtow.org and donate today.
Opening nightclub.
We're not opening a nightclub.
It's the opening nightclub. We can't wait to watch an opening night show, because on opening night we always go with our opening nightclub. Opening nightclub.
Welcome back to the Opening Night Club. This is the podcast where we get together every week to discuss and celebrate local theater all over Central Washington. I'm your host, Kevin McKee, and with me again today is author, playwright, raconteur, and my friend, Skyler Cuthill. How are you, Skyler?
It's good to be back, Kevin. It's a beautiful Memorial Day weekend out there. It's Pentecost. It is the birthday of the church today.
Oh.
And I am pleased to be here with you.
Are you going to be speaking in tongues or anything? Tongues of fire above your head?
Very good. Very good. This guy knows what's up. Yeah, service this morning was like an hour extra.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, so it screwed up my schedule for the day. But you are back from your big sojourn.
I am back. I'm back from my...
Orlando. I love you, Orlando.
Yeah.
Did you go to SeaWorld?
No, of course I didn't go to SeaWorld.
Did you go to Disney?
SeaWorld? No, I went to Disney Springs.
What's Disney Springs?
It used to be downtown Disney, and back in the day, it was Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island?
Yes.
Like the TV show?
No, like the from Pinocchio, where the
donkeys,
where they turned them into donkeys.
They did that?
Well, it was called,
that was real.
It was called Pleasure Island.
They turned boys into donkeys?
No, they didn't do that.
Oh,
but when they started it up, and this was 80s, 90s, or whatever. They had nightclubs, and it was very adult. Pleasure Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they turned it to downtown Disney, and it was a little more sedate, and now
a little more sedate.
Now it's Disney Springs, and it is like a outdoor shopping mall, but you can buy drinks and walk around with a drink.
Oh, okay.
And lots of restaurants, but high end. I mean, they had a big one of those fancy bowling alleys, and anyhow.
Okay. Yeah, so you were in Orlando for a trade conference.
Yeah, that's it.
Because you were a muckety-muck.
Not a muckety-muck. This is just what we have to do to figure out how to buy stuff.
Okay.
It's a place we can get together and say, okay, all of the GIS vendors, show us your software. And they do.
I have never had a job that paid to send me somewhere.
Oh.
So as far as I'm concerned, you're a muckety-muck.
We're going to have to figure out how to go to the podcast conference.
The podcast conference?
I think we can do that.
Oh, God, I bet they do have those.
I know they do.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, no, we'll have to talk about it. The theater podcast.
Well, speaking of, in Orlando...
Yes.
I don't think this was planned, but you happened upon something very interesting.
Well, when we got there, I was looking at what can I do, just because of the time change. By the time you come from Wenatchee to Orlando, it is now, the soonest you can get there is in the evening. So I got there at like 5:30 and said, what can I do this evening? And I saw they had the Orlando Fringe Festival downtown. And the Fringe Festival, it is a whole ton. There might have been 100 different acts where people would have original theater, and they were all fringe, lots of queer theater, where they would do it downtown at the Orlando Shakespeare Theater and Orlando Rep, which I think is now the Orlando Children's Theater. And each one of the buildings, they're kind of across the park from each other. Each one of the facilities has 4 like black box theaters spread throughout it. And so for 2 weeks before Memorial Day, they just have shows running. And it is every 15 minutes or so, they have something else that opens up. So I was able to get there about 7:30, and I saw 3 shows and before it closed down at midnight. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was surprised. I've never done a Fringe Festival thing, and just the idea that you can do weird and unusual original theater.
Now, spent a decent amount of my life reading about Fringe festivals, but I never seen one. I know the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is like really prestigious, right? And a lot of otter shows you see that eventually go on to become, Broadway, West End, whatever. They go through Edinburgh Film Festivals, like a clearinghouse for weirdos.
Well, it starts there, and they're original shows, and they'll end up off Broadway. Generally, that's been for some of these otter shows. Things like Urinetown, I think, start at Edinburgh. They go to off Broadway, and then they end up on Broadway.
Yeah, there's like a whole system.
Yeah.
Right. And then we were talking about it earlier, and we looked it up. Seattle does not have a Fringe Festival anymore.
No.
Which seems strange because Seattle has a lot of weirdos.
They've had trouble lately with some of the weirder shows. The Teatro Zinzani, I think, closed down.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, everybody was losing money, and I think it's been hard for theater right now. I don't know if you know this, but the economy's not great right now.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
As a property manager, all of whose friends are merchants in Leavenworth. No, I hadn't heard that once.
So there's not a lot of disposable income. And so honestly, theater takes the hit, which is the reason we're trying to support theater.
My dad was a Seattle guy growing up, and he always said Seattle was a wonderful, wonderful city before all the tech moved in.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
just like over the course of time or whatever. But yeah. So that seems odd that
they don't have it.
A kind of a second tier city like Orlando would have a prominent Fringe Festival, and then
they had the
Seattle.
oldest Fringe Festival. I have to think. So Orlando does collect a lot of actors, just because Disney and all of the you've got a lot of people that end up down there.
Okay.
And Lord knows they can't fulfill their passion by being goofy or by being Winnie the Pooh all day, but they could go out and they're going to write something and they could do it that way.
So the guy that is in the goofy suit all day, then an evening goes to do anti-colonial queer theater at the Orlando Fringe
Festival. It's
Festival.
very possible. I mean,
interesting.
You know that the guy that's playing Eeyore probably went to Juilliard, right? I mean, they've got skills, and this is how they're paying the bills.
This isn't how they pictured their life turning out.
No,
being a slave for Disney Corp.
Yeah. But
okay, interesting.
Anyhow,
interesting.
Yeah, I went. I saw 3 shows. The first one was the Colonial Circus, which it was a couple from Toronto. And they were doing clowning, miming, but I think it had something to do with colonialism, lots of audience interaction. And although it was so weird at the beginning, because it was so awkward, the audience didn't know how to respond. They weren't speaking English. They were doing these pantomimes of like sacred things that really weren't part of any culture.
Were they like Native Americans? Were they like Algonquin?
They had painted their faces white with dark eyes and big. I mean, it was like native, but from a culture you've never seen before.
Like a synthetic.
It was a synthetic culture is what they were going for.
Okay.
And eventually they became civilized and they became Christians and then they, became tech bros. But it was all about colonialism.
The normal course of civilizational development.
Course. It was good. And they were afterwards and they were very well received. Then I went to, he identified as a stand-up comedian, but he was doing a bit that was, he had a GoPro camera on his chest, and it was shooting up at him, and it was broadcast on the screen at the stage. Very Blair Witch looking, if you remember how that looked.
Of course I do.
And
I'm a 90s kid.
His bit was he was going to be a YouTuber, and he was going out in the woods, and he was going to survive in the woods for content. And he didn't bring any food. He was going to kill his own food, and he brought a bow and arrow and 3 arrows, and that's what he was going to do. And so this was a lot of audience interaction. It was a very well put together show. And of course it goes badly and he starts, he gets injured and he keeps talking himself up. No, I can do this. No, I can do this. And as an audience, no, he can't. And by the end he dies. And his last video is he's telling his girlfriend that broke up with him, which I think sparked this whole thing, that find my video and put it out on the internet and edit it together to Green Day's Good Riddance, otherwise known as these were the times of our lives, something like that. Anyhow,
don't forget to like and subscribe.
That's it. And so he dies and we all applaud. And then the video comes up, and sure enough, they edited together the video that he was recording during the show into a greatest hits clip to Green Day in the background.
Incredible.
It was very funny.
The world would be much improved if every YouTuber went into the woods to die.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
In 2026.
Or
I feel confident saying
podcaster,
that.
if we're getting too close there.
No. We provide valuable intellectual
We
contributions
actually have our
to
own
the community.
content. Yes. And then the last one was, it was the Fringe Cabaret, where they had the people that had been performing their own bits during the day, and they were being called out onto the stage, and they had a big wheel that they were told to get a prop, and then they would say, okay, you've got a yodel. And I don't know if anybody was winning. I don't know if anybody was judging. But so then they would have people that were doing parodies of other shows that were up there, and they had Heated Ribaldry was doing a show. They had the Fast and the Bi-Curious.
Okay.
You can kind of see the type of shows that they had at the Fringe Festival.
Pure theater kid.
Yes.
So the distilled essence.
And they would give them a prop, and then they would have to do something. And I was telling you before, the favorite was Tyler, and I don't know his last name. He had a show called Small Matters, and he was a little person. He showed up, and he had a one-man show where he was talking about his life clowning, where he was a professional clown as a little person. And so he was called up, and he was given 2 pool noodles, and he had to do a burlesque. And so he started just dancing sexily with pool noodles. And then at some point, he took one of the pool noodles and balanced it on his chin, like upright, and which he was a little person. And so the pool noodle looked huge. And then he started stripping off his clothes while balancing a pool noodle. So he stripped down to his underwear, balanced the pool noodle, and it was the most amazing, completely unexpected act I think I've ever seen.
Did you get his card?
I did not.
We got to bring this guy here.
We got to bring Tyler here.
This guy's going to kill at the New America Pack Black Box.
I'll have to find him. We'll put him in the show notes.
Yeah.
But I did lean over to the woman next to me and say, I did not have that on my bingo card this weekend.
Get this dude into Holiday Spicier.
Ooh, that would be good.
See, that would kill. That would slay.
It would slay. So anyhow, that was the Fringe Festival, and I kind of want to go back. And I was trying to figure out, how do I do this more, but I wasn't going to. Skip sessions.
If Seattle, a city of like 3 million people, can't support a Fringe Festival, I have an idea. Wenatchee will support a Fringe Festival.
I think we can totally do it.
Yeah?
I think we can.
We have a lot of weirdos. By God, but we do.
I think we have a lot of original stuff that we can do, and I think we might be able to get people to pay something for it.
Yeah?
I think so.
All right.
I don't know if you saw, there was a show, Who Mons a Brief Primer?
I heard about that.
Which seems like it would have fit right into a Fringe Festival.
I heard it was weird.
It was weird. Yeah. No, it would keep Wenatchee weird, man.
Yeah, so that'll be the bumper sticker.
That'll be the bumper sticker. We could.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, the way it worked is everybody had to pay $10 for a button, and that allowed you to pay for individual shows.
Okay.
Nothing was more than $15. It was all very reasonable.
Okay.
And all of the money for the show went directly to the performers. The $10 for the button went to pay the organization.
Okay, that seems very fair.
It was very fair. I think so. I think so. Anyhow.
Okay, great.
So yeah, no, I kind of liked Orlando.
How unusual. I when I was like mentally preparing for the show earlier today, I was like, and then we'll talk about Orlando for like a second. Right, that Kevin was in Orlando. That's why it was the interview last week, right? But yeah, great, wonderful. So you had a new and novel theater experience.
I did at the Fringe Festival.
Wonderful.
Recommending Orlando.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, while you were gone, I had an interesting week. I planted my garden, and we had the first kind of unofficial put together read through for the Countess of Pocatello.
The Countess of Pocatello, the upcoming show. Now, I hear this is an original script by a local playwright.
This is so. It is not brief enough or lightweight enough, however, to be performed at a Fringe festival, I don't think.
Okay.
There's like a set and dresses.
Okay.
Yes. It went pretty well. It was extremely useful. I learned a lot of things about the script, which is interesting because I wrote that thing, so you'd think I would know it. But a lot of my assumptions about it or my beliefs about it were proven to be wrong. Stuff that I thought did work, did not work, and stuff that I thought would probably not work, would work or will work.
Okay.
So yeah, very, very, very good use of time. Thank you everybody who participated and everybody who did not. Look forward to the Countess of Pocatello. You'll have to be wowed out of your seat by the twists and turns of this amazing original script. So the Snowy Owl is going to be, we are even as we speak preparing promotional material. It is going to be at the Snowy Owl Theater in Leavenworth in February.
In February 2027. That's a big year for theater.
It's far away, but not that far away.
We've got a lot of work to do.
We do have a lot of work. God bless us. But we took the first step. We had the read-through.
That's right.
Right. And I had been telling people before the read-through that if it went well, I would put the script right in the garbage and just start over again. But that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Love it.
No,
You'd love to see it, folks.
It's a good script. I've read it. It's a good script.
But yeah. So full steam ahead on the Countess of Pocatello.
Yeah.
So if you are willing to work for free, please get in touch with Skyler J. Cuthill as he puts together this crazy plan.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. February at the Icicle Creek Theater.
Yes.
Okay. Then we went, and this was 2 weeks ago now.
Seems forever ago.
We went to the Apple Awards.
Yes.
Which was at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. And this is really a full year of high school performances. We've talked about a lot of them on this show. Mm-hmm. We saw nearly all of them this year. And I think the Apple Awards were awesome because we could talk about all of them. We know these people who won, and for the most part, they're right on. I think the people that won should be the winners.
And Brian Higgins did an excellent job with the show. The show was a lot of fun. The presentation itself, the ceremony.
Yep. Yeah. They put together, really, they have all of the kids from all of the theaters, all the theater kids, get together for the day. They rehearse a couple numbers. They perform their own numbers or sections of their shows in front of everybody. The directors get together. And it's really been a great way to build community with the drama teachers and their kids.
And it's a great way to expose the kids to other drama programs.
That's right.
Where instead of just like you're at your school and then you do your rehearsal and then you go home, right? Now they're engaging with others, which really does help you develop.
And it makes you realize, the struggles I have, other people do the same thing. There's people like me. I'm not that fringe. I'm not that bit. I can be a theater kid, but it's not like I'm the only theater kid in my little school. There is a ton of theater kids out there.
But yeah, they have workshops that day of too, like technical stuff, acting stuff. So yeah, I think it's a wonderful program. The PAC does a great job with it, and we had, which is kind of the awards are kind of the capstone of the whole high school theater season now.
It is
right. They've been doing it for a while since I think 2018 or 2019, right? So this is a going thing.
Well, and it started after the Fifth Avenue used to have their high school awards, and they would do it all over the state. Yeah. Paul Atwood won for Best Director at 1 year, and Wenatchee High School was in there quite a bit. And during COVID, they closed it down and they haven't restarted. And so there are a lot of schools that want to get into the Wenatchee Apple Awards because it just doesn't exist anywhere else in the state.
My understanding with the Fifth Ave Awards was that you had to pay as a school to have an adjudicator come out.
Very possible.
So I would hope it would have been revenue neutral, right? So I don't know why it would have been shut down. I would hope it would have not made money, but not lost money either. But
I think it's a lot of work, and I think we can be grateful that the Numerica PAC is putting time. They're taking their staff to make this thing happen.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you, Kylie.
But yeah, so we went to the awards, right? And then you jetted off to Orlando. But we can now talk about the awards. It's all done. It's all wrapped up.
We can.
Yes.
So we went to the awards, and they had listed on each of the awards, they had the nominees for each of them, and then they announced who the top one was. And we're just going to talk about who won each category.
there's a decent number of categories, and there's quite a few. So everybody who was nominated, great job. Let's be clear. Great job.
Oh, fantastic job. Just to get into here.
Yeah.
The lead performers, partly they did not separate by gender.
Yeah.
So there's lead performer, there's not lead actor, lead actress, which makes it really hard because there's only one lead actress or lead performer in a musical that can possibly win.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
A lot of good ones.
Yeah, the program gets bigger every year. There are more and more schools contributing,
Yeah. So I'm going to start off lead performer in a musical. That was Cade Devereaux.
Our boy.
From Little Shop of Horrors. He played Seymour. I think we've talked about this show. I just love this show. Cade Devereaux, I've been watching him as grow up through Short Shakes, and this was his senior year, and just what a strong performer. He did a great job in The Importance of Being Earnest, but boy, was he great as Seymour.
Very strong as Seymour. No, I remember Cade we were in the Addams Family together in 2019. He was Pugsley.
Oh, that's right.
1 million years ago. Cade is wonderful. Cade is a senior. He's going to, I believe, the University of Washington, right? So end of an era.
End of an era, but boy, what a way to go out.
No,
nice
Cade,
one, Cade.
Great job.
The next one we had was supporting performer in a musical, and this was kind of a weird one, but I don't think it was wrong. Kashmir High School's Once Upon a Mattress, Dylan Cornea, who was supporting performer in a musical, he played King Sextimus.
That's a joke. He likes the ladies.
Oh, he does like King Sextimus. And the weird thing was, through most of the play, he is mute.
Yes.
In a musical.
He is 98% of the way through the show, he is mute.
He is mute.
We're spoiling Once Upon a Mattress, but at the end, he can talk again.
He can talk again.
But he just has to mime, speaking of.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But he did a great job.
He's very, very funny.
Yeah.
He played Nick Bottom in Midsummer Night's Dream earlier and was fantastic in that show. But in this one, and again, it's weird that the supporting performer in a musical does not sing, doesn't speak, but comically, he nailed it. He's got very good comic instinct.
Generally speaking, when you're thinking about roles in a musical, the defining line is has a song or doesn't have a song. Not only does King Sextimus not have a song, he doesn't have lines.
That's right. But he's on stage a lot.
He is. He does a lot of stuff.
He's interacting a lot.
Yeah. And he was very good.
No, I really, really love that performance. Okay, moving on to lead performer in a play. That came from Eastmont High School, Too Many Detectives at the Murder Mansion. Mary Elise Clifton as Ms. Marple.
Yes, the unassuming old lady.
Yes, this was a difficult one because this really was an ensemble piece at Eastmont. We had so many characters, so many lead performers, so many supporting performers, and so many named characters.
There were 20 named characters in that show.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy. For a musical,
Yes.
real characters. I mean, some of them were smaller or whatnot, but sometimes how I think of it in terms of primaries versus non-primaries is at the end of the show, did people remember your name?
Yeah.
Or did they just remember your function? Were you the sailor with the solo line, right? Or do you remember, oh yeah, that was Jean Valjean, right?
Yeah.
Do they remember the name? And I think you're supposed to remember the name for almost all these characters, although they are real characters.
They're real characters.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Shaggy, Velma.
Yeah, but still, you remembered it. Right. So there were uniquely for a play, there were a ton of named characters, actual characters versus just, again, having a function.
Yeah. No, it was really good. Really good. Okay, moving on. Best supporting performer in a play went to Quincy High School, and that was for their production of Puffs, and it went to Owen Yates. He played J. Finch Fletchley and several others.
Yes. In Puffs was quite long, and everybody played 8 characters.
Yes.
It was like Madcap.
The thing that to remember about Owen Yates is in the middle of the show, or really about 2/3 of the way through the show, he has a very long monologue that he improvised every night.
I think when we were there, it was Minions.
It could have been the Minions movie.
I want to say it was
Despicable
Minions.
Me.
Yeah, because I remember I was
Yeah.
lost for a lot of it, and then I had to be clued in. I'm not Gen Z or what have you. Despicable Me was after my time, you know.
So basically, what he would do is they got to a place where he would tell a story about what was happening, and very quickly the audience understands he's basically telling the story of a movie. He's telling the whole plot of Despicable Me, except he's putting himself into the movie. He did other movies on other nights, and I did not know that, of course, because we only saw it once.
Yeah, because it was improvised.
It was improvised.
Incredible.
And
Great job, Owen.
And so Owen, he won Best Supporting Performer in a play for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So the production crew awards, the best stage manager went to Alana Wendorf for Little Shop of Horrors at Wenatchee. And she has been doing a lot of work. And I don't think it's just backstage. I think it's also in the booth. She's been doing a lot and been really good. And I also think she's been working up at Leavenworth Summer Theater.
A lot of stuff flying in and flying off for that show.
Yes.
Right. A very production intensive show.
Yeah.
So definitely well deserved.
And it was so smooth.
Yes.
This is a tough one because you really notice it when it's going bad.
Yeah.
And when it goes well, you don't. So anyhow, nice job, Alana. Production crew, this one went to Odessa Libert for Puffs at Quincy High School. She was the props manager.
There were some killer props and puppets and whatnot in Puffs, tell you what.
And so many props.
Yes.
There was a lot of characters, and everybody seemed to have odd props.
They did I'm sure we talked about it on the show or whatnot, but the concept with Puffs is that it's all of Harry Potter. Like all of it. So they move really quickly. And that's the bit is that they'll throw on a snake or whatever. And they'll go, now it's the Chamber of Secrets or whatever. And then the snake goes off. And then a Dementor comes on and they go, it's the Prisoner of Azkaban, you know. And then
they're
move on.
throwing chickens off and on stage.
Yes.
There was things I think if you go back and listen to that podcast, I'm not familiar. And so a lot of it was like, why are they carrying that?
Again, speaking of, Harry Potter was a little bit after my time, right?
Yeah.
I read the first couple. I was not a Harry Potter person or what have you. So I had to be clued in on this stuff. But that does not affect the production.
Yeah.
And it was a very impressive production.
Yeah.
So great job, Odessa.
No,
Odessa.
did a great job. Okay, so now we come up to Best Overall Musical, and that was Wenatchee High School's production of Little Shop of Horrors.
Great job, Little Shop.
I really love this show. I think it is, I was in it, and so maybe that's part of my affection for Little Shop of Horrors, but boy, they did a great job. I wish we didn't have to have Iris Jaffe compete with Kate Devereaux for best lead, because she was fantastic. She made me tear up, and it was just so good. And it's weird because it is a very campy, tongue-in-cheek show. So to have it make you tear up, they're doing something right.
See moi.
That's right. Somewhere the screen.
I will say it's kind of recursive, right? Maybe the reason a show is your favorite because you did it, or maybe the reason you did a show is because it's your favorite.
There
But for
you go.
example, our boy Caleb Sims, if you're listening, howdy, he asked on Facebook for people to list their favorite musicals. And I noticed, if you read that post, that everybody was listing shows that they either were the lead in or that they directed.
Oh.
So it's very, again, recursive, right? Is the show your
Yeah.
favorite because you were in it, or were you in it because it was your favorite? Right.
Yeah.
I think it kind of it's an Ouroboros of theatrical interest.
Okay, I had shows that I have not been in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But you were in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, but I didn't list that. I said Gypsy, Fiddler
Which you
on
were
the
in, Gypsy.
I was.
Yes.
But I was in Gypsy. Fiddler on the Roof, years ago I was in it.
Who were you in Fiddler?
I was like a bottle dancer.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I didn't, yeah. And Hair, which I posted, after I posted that, I got some comments and I posted a video. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. I went ahead and I posted a video of Hair, the 1969 cast, performing on the Ed Sullivan Show.
The Summer of Love.
It was a summer of love, but it was just mind-blowing to see this and realize nobody had ever seen anything like this. And by the end of Let the Sun Shine In, they were running through the audience, not like in the aisles. They were crawling over the audience, standing on the armrests and go-go dancing over the audience. And if you're ever familiar with the Ed Sullivan Show, by 1969, it had kind of reached its peak, but it was a pretty conservative audience, and you knew that they were freaking out inside, that this was way out of their comfort zone. And more than anything, it made me want to be 20 years old again.
Oh, yeah.
And in good shape and doing a production of Hair. That is probably the only show where I look at it and say, I would not want to be a lead. I would want to be on the ensemble. I want to be part of that group.
All right. You can teleport into the past to be in Hair, and I will teleport into the past to be Skimbleshanks and Cats.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we will make this deal with Satan.
I think I would probably do Hair above Cats. But
Yeah?
Yes.
Wow.
No.
You think you know a guy?
I know. I wish I was a little open-minded in my 20s that I would get naked on stage. I don't. Maybe that's what would hold me up. If I was back in my 20s, I'd still like, nope, not going to do that.
I'm going to wear a Speedo on stage.
That's
right next door.
That's right.
Literally right next door to nudity.
That's right.
I should be out tanning. It's such a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
I'm neglecting my job.
Yes. And this all comes back to the fact that I really do like Little Shop of Horrors, and it won.
It's a great show.
It's a great show.
Great music, moves,
We're going to come back from that and talk about the best overall play was Too Many Detectives at the Murder Mansion.
It was a good show.
It was a good show.
It was fun.
Yeah. We had a lot of really good shows.
Good job, Pete Kapler.
Good plays this year. But yeah, I would definitely go with Too Many Detectives. That was so much fun.
And those were kind of like the main awards. And
Yes.
they had a whole category of Academy Choice.
And these were the ones where somebody stood out in a way that the Academy did not expect them to do.
Yes.
And so the first one was Best Dead Body.
Classic.
This was up at Chelan, and I know we did talk about this, that they had a character, they had a high schooler that had to play a dead body for a large section of the play. He just had to play dead.
Like all of Act 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was Angel Gomez from Chelan High School. And yeah, he was a good dead body.
He really was. You believed
really
it.
Was. The Academy's choice for Best Utility Player went to Juno Ha at Eastmont High School.
Juno has been a mensch. She's been at because I've been going to see these high school shows for a long time now, and I think Juno's been in it like every year at Eastmont. She's a worker,
And she hasn't been leads, but she was always ensemble and then understudy. And I know this last one, she understudied everyone.
Oh, yeah, at Eastmont.
Yes. If you haven't been in a show with understudies, if you are a swing, I think it's probably the most difficult role because you have to be at every rehearsal. Mm-hmm. If you have a good director, they're going to make sure if I'm only rehearsing a scene with two characters, those are the only people that have to come. Mm-hmm. But if you're understudying those characters, you've got to come too. And so if you're understudying everybody, you're there all the time. You've got to memorize the entire show.
And it's stressful because on the one hand, as an understudy, speaking from experience, you want stage time, you want to run it. But then let's say it's a 2-hour rehearsal, 3-hour rehearsal, and you're doing one scene, you do it over and over and over again. Eventually everybody checks out. And then let's say at the very end of that rehearsal, they say, okay, now understudies do it.
Yes.
And now you haven't done it. And now everybody's looking at you because something has changed. And so now there's like renewed interest. People were checked out, whatever. The leads are doing it again. Who cares, right? Oh, the understudies are up there. And now everybody's looking at you and you're not prepared.
Really hard. Yes.
You've just been taking notes or whatever, which is literally is not the same as actually stepping through it.
Yeah.
Your body isn't learning it.
And there has been a couple times with Juno where she would come out and do a song and they were great. Mm-hmm. Like not a full song, but just a few lines they would sing and boy, they've got a great voice.
Percy Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing. We saw the same thing in Little Women.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was very well deserved. I think Juno is a senior. So great job, Juno.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. The last ones, we've got the practical effects for puppetry.
Yes.
That went to Puffs at Quincy High School.
Puffs picked up 3 awards this season.
It really did.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the strength of Owen Yates' improvisation and the excellent props and puppetry. It really was very good.
The Dementors and the ants.
It really was very good.
Okay, and then the last one was the season standout Academy choice, Jameson Maydall as Batman.
Batman.
At Eastmont High School.
I'm Batman.
Yeah. And that was in Too Many Detectives at the Murder Mansion, and he was a great Batman.
These 3 shows like clinged up. I'm not sure if I was as aware of this like in the moment watching this ceremony, but it seems like these 3 shows have come up again and again and again and again.
Yes.
So yeah, the Academy really liked Too Many Detectives, Little Shop of Horrors,
and Puffs.
And Puffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on them.
No, Batman was very funny.
Yeah.
We were all constantly saying it. I'm Batman. It was kind of a gimmick character, right? Like,
but he stood out. That's what everybody remembered.
He did a great job.
He didn't have a lot of lines.
No, mostly I'm Batman.
And there was no character arc. It was exactly the same every time, and you remembered him.
So much of the stuff that we were talking about is like after my time. Gen Z stuff.
Yeah.
But the Christopher Nolan Batman movies were right in it for me as a millennial.
Yeah.
You know, those were big deal movies when I was coming up.
See, I'd almost take this one off of Lego Batman, where he was doing the Will Arnett Lego Batman.
Oh. But come on, that Will Arnett Lego Batman is a parody of Christian Bale going, "Swear to me." Right? That's where it comes from. Because otherwise, Batman was like a normal... I mean, he wasn't a normal guy. He was the world's greatest detective. But you know what I mean, right? He didn't have that absurdly over-the-top growly voice.
Yes.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Oh, Batman.
See, we're ready for it.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the Apple Awards, and congratulations to everybody who won. It was a good night, and all the high school seniors, Music Theater Wenatchee handed out their scholarships, which I believe, again, was well over $10,000 that they handed out in scholarships to theater kids.
A lot of both $1,000 and $2,000 awards.
Yeah. No, it's significant.
Yeah.
And it was, I know, being in music theater, those were awards that a lot of kids didn't apply for. They didn't find out about. But now they know, and they know if they go to Apple Awards, they're going to find out who's getting significant awards for scholarships.
Well, even in 2026, $2,000 is not something you can sniff your nose at.
No.
That's real money.
That's real money.
So that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So we also had a show that you went to up at Icicle Creek.
While you were in Orlando basking in the glory of the Fringe Festival.
That's right.
I was at the beautiful Snowy Owl Theater, and I took in Dangerous Women.
That's right.
Yeah, so they've been doing it for a while. I remember going to the first one, I think a decade ago at this point, and they've been doing it since then. And every couple of years, they have a new script. And this year, 2026, was the debut of a new script called Common Ground.
Common Ground. Different, yeah.
And Caroline Rensel called it a devised work, which I never heard before, theater illiteracy. Then I looked it up, and it is a real term. Devised work. It means when people contribute their own element to it.
Oh.
Yes. So the women that were in it, a lot of them, there was like a framing device, which is that we were like at camp, you know, and like we were talking about how great it is to be a woman and learn about the natural world and so on and so forth. It was kind of science-oriented.
Everybody was telling their own story then?
Yeah. So I believe the women contributed a lot, if not all, of their monologues or whatnot. They would come out. There was a Marie Curie. There was a Sumerian priestess. Susan Heminger was different Irish women, like through history, right? So everybody, you know, had like an angle.
Okay.
And, you know, talked about themselves and what they did and why they were significant. Shelley Heron was an underwater biologist. She painted fish.
Oh.
And they showed the paintings of the fish.
Yeah.
She went down in like the little vessel. You know, it was like, ooh, and she painted the fish. It was very interesting. I had a good time, and it was packed.
Really? At Snowy Owl Theater, it was packed.
I know. Generally speaking, we have a little bit of trouble driving traffic out there. But I went on the Sunday matinee, and it was so crowded when I just moseyed up. I didn't buy a ticket or whatever. And I showed up, and it was so full. I got up to Shyla, who was selling the tickets, and I said, "Are there any tickets left?" And she said, "There are 2. How many would you like?" And I went, "Oh my gosh."
Did you say, "I'll take both of them"?
Yeah, deny somebody the chance. No, I got my 1 ticket, right? And no, it was great. It was really positive. And Rona Barron, it's Rona Barron's project. She's an important Leavenworth lady. And she had like a talkback section at the end.
Okay.
And it was fun. They had a lot of different people. It was a lot of locals, but also a lot of imports. And they had a Mexicana dancing troupe.
Okay.
That did the Dance of the Butterflies. And they had dresses that looked like butterflies, and they waved their skirts around like they were butterfly wings. And I was like, oh, Mariposas. No, so I genuinely liked it. Great job, ladies. Anna, you are a wonderful Sumerian priestess.
Oh.
Susan, you were a great druid. Jelly Heron, good job looking at the fish. No, it was a lot of fun. I really liked it. So Sally Nipfer was in it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she was one of the camp counselors. And Mary Lee Kunkel and Sherry Hagopian were also in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sherry Hagopian was in Death of a Salesman with me back in like 2015. So I always like to see her.
Yeah.
You know, she comes out for a show like once every 2 years.
Well, and
it's like a special treat.
She's been really active at music theater as like house manager. She's one of the...
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I remember she was in Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
She was the mom.
That's
she had a
right.
song.
She
We were like,
did.
oh, Sherry.
Yeah.
Woo.
No, that was the first time I realized she's got a great singing voice.
No, Sherry's a good performer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So I think that means we're caught up with the theater. I think we can talk about what's coming up now. What's coming up next?
Well, this coming Thursday, speaking of, is the Icicle Creek Center for the Arts General Benefit Bash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a fundraiser. It is open to the public. You have to buy tickets, but there's going to be food and events and all kinds of things, and I am going to be pouring there. I got my mask.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Get your mask card.
I've only ever poured in recreational contexts before. I've never poured in a professional context. Come down and get your cider poured for you by Skyler J. Cuthill.
There you go.
It's special. I've literally never done it before. So come on down. It'll be a lot of fun. We all love the ICCA. It's important to, in these hard times, it's important to support the artistic infrastructure, which we all love so much in the Valley. And then I think the next show opening up is The Shark is Broken on June 18th.
That's right. On June 12th, we have the trip to Bountiful, which will be at Maskers Theater on June 12th. And that's opening up, and I think it's going to run for several weeks. So if you're in Soap Lake, go ahead and go see the trip to Bountiful.
You can eat at the excellent Italian restaurant first.
That's right. And you should go quick before it disappears.
What?
It's for sale.
No!
Yeah, Sophia's is for sale.
We only went there once.
I know.
Oh.
I know. They have fresh pasta, and it's really probably the best Italian restaurant around, although I do like Fiscani's.
I mean, when we went there, everybody that we talked to about it was just shocked. They were like, there's a restaurant in Soap Lake, you know.
A good one.
So I guess it makes sense or what have you. But what a sadness. What a shame.
Yeah.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah. If you want to buy an Italian restaurant in Soap Lake, go buy an Italian restaurant.
If you can keep the chef, it would be great.
It would be great.
I'm going to wager that the chef goes with it, though. I mean, goes away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are the shows that are upcoming. If you have a chance, go see these shows. We've got a few things that are still performance arts related, but not necessarily opening nights. But make sure you go out and you support local theater, and whatever you do, go see the next opening night.